Right after I get done filming this video, I am literally getting back in my PJs because I'm still not 100% back well. I was feeling a little down the last couple days, but since I was off today, well, since I had to be off work today, I decided to film a little bit of content. But I am about to get right back in my PJs and lay down and try to relax the rest of the day. But I wanted to get on here and just share a quick story about trusting God. I remember when I opened my hair salon. The year that I opened was 2020, which was COVID year. And it was so much happening. It was so much scarcity. It was just so much taking place that I did not quite understand how the business was going to even. First of all, I was even shocked that it was opening, but second of all, I was even more shocked that I was opening during such a hard time of what we were going through in the world. So, opening up a business in 2020, I was a little terrified, but there was something that kept making me feel secure and safe. And that something was God because leading up to me opening my business, it was nothing but God. The way everything happened, it was nothing but God. I was not able to do it in my own strength because I had already tried to do it in my own strength and it did not work out. So the way things took place, which I would have to make another video if y'all want to hear the details on how everything happened with me getting the keys to my salon, I'll have to make another video. But opening up 2020, so it took me about 3 months to open up my salon. So we started the process in December. I did not open the business until February 13th of 2020. The world shut down mid-March. So I think I had been open maybe a month and everything was shutting down. Businesses were shutting down. It was like mandatory shutdown. So here I am trying to still go to work every day because I'm like, I'm just going to go to work until they say hair salons have to close. Because it was like certain businesses that was having to close, like, um, not all at once. I feel like it was not all at once. It was just certain businesses that was closing like at this time. And then it was like everybody. So I stayed at work until it was time for me to close, meaning they were like, we have to go home. So I can remember telling the owner because I had just opened, I haven't had time to make any money. I spent all the money that I had, I spent all the money that I borrowed. And I'm like, how am I going to keep this place and pay rent if we are shutting down? I have not made any money. I have not had any clients. I might have had a few clients coming in there, but not enough to pay rent if the business was closing down. So I called the owner of the building and I told him the situation and I asked him, what do I need to do? Because this is my first time being in business like this and I don't know what to do. And he said, well, this is kind of what happens when you open up a business. These times kind of come and you're going to have to figure out how, you're going to pay the bills. And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm not going to make it because how am I going to pay him if I'm not here working, making the money? So I was like, okay, I understand. I'll figure something out. And I think I had text the girls because at that point I had a full salon of stylists. I might have had one chair not filled, but I think I remember texting them and telling them, well, if I got to pay rent, we're all going to have to pay rent because that's what booth rent is. He's telling me I'm going to have to pay rent. We'll figure something out, but I cannot pay this by myself. So the next day he called me, which of course I went home and I was like, Lord, there's no way you brought me this far and it's just going to close. There's no way your hands are all over this. And there's just no way, the way that God opened up my business, that it was just going to turn around and close. But everything is for God to get the glory in it when we don't see the outcome. We don't see the future like God. We don't see things out in longevity like God does. So here I am thinking about the moment, and God is thinking about 5 years later up until today. So the next day, the owner called me and he said, "You know what? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about paying me rent. You go home and be with your family. We don't know what's taking place right now. This is all new to us. We are all going through the same things. We don't know what to expect." He was like, "Don't worry about it. When everything comes back around and we open up, we'll figure something out then." And I can just remember I was just like, I think I just had my hand over my mouth because I'm like, what? What? Go home and don't worry about it? Which is exactly what I did, which turned out to be a blessing for me because one, I was not worried about my business. I knew at that point God had his hands all over it. It was his business, so it was not going anywhere. And I was also able to go home and rest because I had been working for 3 months getting my salon open. So for me, I know COVID was a hard time for a lot of people. And I'm not saying for those people I didn't feel compassion and remorse for them, but for me, it was great because I opened up a business. I was able to go home and rest and be prepared for when we actually opened and have energy and be rested and be ready. I could go home and think and process things. So for me, it was great. God showed up and he showed out. When businesses opened, we were booming. That was the year I made so much money because people were ready to come back out the house. We had been on lockdown for like 2.5 months. So we were busy. And I say all that to say that no matter how things look, no matter how the situation is playing out, if God is starting it, He is going to finish it and He is going to finish it perfectly. If it is not done, if it is not complete, then God is not finished with it yet. If you are starting in something and it is hard and it is challenging, maybe it's not God. But if God has his hands on it, no matter what that thing is, he is going to see it through and it is going to be so effortless for you because it was so effortless for me. I didn't have to really do anything. God literally used my physical body. I did not have to do anything thought process wise. I did not have to come up with any resources or anything. God did everything for me. He lined it up, and all I had to do was walk in it. So I just wanted to share that with you and inspire you and motivate you. If you want to know how, like, what steps I took to get the business, like how God worked it out, just let me know in the comments and I'll do a part two.